POV Italian Cooking, where you see cooking from my point of view. In today's episode, we're making what has really become one of my wife and I's favorite breakfast dishes, frittata. Now, I've made frittatas in past episodes. In this episode, though, we're going to make a bell pepper and cheese curd frittata. And this one turned out great. I didn't have real high hopes because I thought the green and the red peppers were going to be overpowering in the flavor of the frittata, and it might have just been too much, but I was pleasantly surprised. This frittata was outstanding, so let's get started. So we've got our coffee. It's time to make breakfast. Let's take a look at the ingredients for our frittata. We're going to use 6 eggs. We're going to use 1 red pepper, 1 green pepper, 2 scallions. We have, what is this? This is 8 ounces of cheese curds and about a half a cup of milk. Salt and pepper as well. And we're going to use a little bit of olive oil. Not in the shop, but we're going to use a little bit of olive oil. So let's move things around here. Get our eggs out of the way. Preheat your oven to 375. What we're going to start with is our peppers. What we're going to do is slice our peppers up into, let's see here. Let's get everything cleaned out of our pepper first here. Make them look nice. Put this stuff over there. Let our production assistant, my wife, pick this up later when I say, I'm too tired. I've been recording all morning. That never works. All right, so we're going to kind of cut these up thin, and then what we're going to do is cut them up 3 or 4 times. So we've got pieces about like that. That's about perfect. We're going to do that to both of our peppers, so we can use them in our wonderful breakfast. Now this is going to take time, and it's exciting to watch somebody cut stuff up because you're always thinking, it's like watching the races. You know, when you watch like NASCAR, some people watch NASCAR to see who wins. Some people watch NASCAR to see who crashes. So I'm sure there's some people out there like, love to watch food be cut up. And there's other people that think, he's going to cut his finger off this time. So if you're one of those people, God love you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get those peppers cut up. Another thing we've got to cut up is our scallions. So really what we want here out of our scallions is the green part. You don't want to get into the white part for this. They add a little bit of flavor, the green tops, but they also add some color to this frittata. So these we want to cut up nice and small pieces. So when you start to get down into the white part, you're done. So we just need 2 of those. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my peppers cut up. And then we're going to reposition over to our stove. Got our peppers cut up. A lot of peppers. Ooh, that's a lot of peppers, but we're going to cook them here in just a second. One thing we do have to do is cut up our cheese curds. Now, I would be happy with finding some of this big chunk of cheesy goodness in my frittata, but we want to make sure that the cheese gets spread throughout. So we're just going to cut these up into chunks about like that. Some of these curds are big, some are small. If you get them a little bigger or a little bit smaller, this is the cheese component, so it's not going to be the end of the world. But you just want to make sure you got enough pieces of cheese to be spread throughout. So I'm going to go ahead, finish cutting up my cheese curds, and then in the next shot, this time we'll be over at our stove, ready to cook. Coffee's starting to get a little bit cold, so we gotta hurry up and drink it. Repositioned over by our stove. We're gonna put our heat on about medium. You want your pan good and hot before you even put your oil in. So when I walked over here, I turned it on high, but I've got it turned down on low now. We're gonna start by putting, we'll say a tablespoon or 2 of oil in our pan. Then, we'll let that get hot. I'm using a non-stick pan just because I'm lazy. That's the first one that was on top. So I grabbed it, put it in there. We're gonna put our peppers in. Oh, nice little sizzle. We're going to let these cook. Now, I may end up not using all these because that's a lot of peppers for a 6-egg frittata. But what else am I going to do with them, right? Once you got them cut up, you got to use them. We're going to go ahead and let these cook for 6-8 minutes. So I'll keep, every now and then, I'll stir these, keep them over medium heat. Stir for 6-8 minutes. Then when they're done, we'll move on to our next step. So the coffee's gone. The oven is preheated. Our peppers are ready for the next step. You can see some of them got a little bit of color on them. Been letting them go. I actually did let them go about 8 minutes. So these are perfect. We're going to get these off the heat. We're going to get back over to our prep area and get this frittata ready and in the oven. I'm starving. We got to get this frittata going here. So what we're going to do, we're making a 6-egg frittata. So we're going to put 6 eggs in our bowl. Uh-oh. That egg cracking looked really professional, didn't it? It was more like an egg smooshing. Eggs are all cracked. Got a little bit of egg on my hands here, so we always want to make sure that we sterilize. So I'm going to wash my hands real quick. So into our eggs, we're going to put some salt. And I'm just using a fine sea salt here. And some pepper. Use a little bit of milk, probably about a 1/4 cup of milk. Probably good enough. And we're going to mix this up. Okay, now we want to have an oven-safe pan. And this is just a cheap aluminum pan that I bought at a restaurant supply store. Oven-safe. I've smeared it with butter. Now, the first time that I made a frittata, it stuck. So now I'm really nervous about it sticking. So not only do I butter my pan, but I put on some non-stick spray. Doesn't affect the flavor. All right, now our peppers. Going to go into our pan. We're going to try not to get that olive oil. If you get, you're going to get a little bit of it. Let's face it. Put that into our pan. Ooh, that's looking pretty good. All right, that's enough. Throw this back here in the sink. Cheese curds. We're going to spread our cheese curds throughout. We're going to use all of our cheese curds because, you know, cheese curd happy goodness. Stir those together. Evenly distribute them in our pan. And we're slowly going to pour in our egg. Then we're going to make sure everything, the egg gets evenly distributed, that our ingredients are all evenly distributed. Then we're going to take our scallions. There's a little pitter patter of puppy feet. It's my little baby needs out. So now we're going to take our scallions and we're going to sprinkle those on top. These were 2 scallions, finely chopped. A couple of them didn't get chopped up very good. That's all right. Put those all around the top. More flavor. I'm starving. This goes into a 375-degree preheated oven for about 20 minutes. What you want to do is you want to check it by putting a butter knife in the middle and kind of, you know, spreading it out a little bit. And if you still see it's liquidy and whatnot, then it's not done yet. Put it back in for another 5 minutes. But we're going to start with 20 minutes at 375. Just check the frittata. It's ready to come out of the oven. Looks really good. I'm going to grab it real quick. Oh, look at that wonderful frittata. Got a little oil with it this time. I'm guessing that that's from the cheese curds. Normally I don't have that much oil on my frittata after it bakes, but I don't know, you may not be able to see it, but it's kind of collecting there. I'm going to let this rest for a few minutes, and then we're going to get it plated up and see how it tastes. Got our frittata all plated up here. Let's give this a try.
It's good.
The flavor from those peppers, the cheese curd. The cheese curd actually balances out the pepper. Sometimes you use too many peppers, it can be an overpowering flavor. but the cheese curd kind of balances that. Of course, the egg is a good palate for these two flavors, so this is really good. My wife and I are starving because we've had to smell this cook. Well, you know, drinking coffee, waiting to get our breakfast in. So with that, thank you so much for watching POV Italian Cooking. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, Tumblr, LinkedIn, any social media site. Most importantly, I want you to click that subscribe button on YouTube and then ring the bell so you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video. And if you have a Roku streaming device, download and watch the POV Italian Cooking channel. Thank you again so much for watching.